I never imagined that one random Friday night would upend my entire life. If you had asked me a week ago, I would have told you things were stable, maybe even happy. But now, I don't even know where to start. Everything began to unravel at Noah's party, and Noah's been my best friend since high school. He's the kind of guy who throws a party, and everyone shows up, no questions asked. That night, I went with my girlfriend, Emma. We've been together for 2 years, and yeah, things hadn't been perfect lately, but I figured that's just how relationships go. You don't stay in the honeymoon phase forever, right? Lately, though, something felt off. Emma had seemed distant, but I chalked it up to stress from work or something. Nothing serious. That night, we arrived separately to the party, which wasn't unusual. She had some work to finish up and said she'd meet me there. I didn't think twice when she walked in later. She looked great as always. Emma could pull off casual better than anyone I knew, but something seemed different. She was on her phone more than usual, texting away with a little smile. I figured it was just work stuff or a friend needing advice. I shrugged it off and kept chatting with Noah and some other friends. As the night went on, though, I noticed Emma sneaking outside a couple of times, but I didn't think much of it. It wasn't until Noah pulled me aside, his face dead serious, that I started to get a bad feeling. Noah's not the type to get worked up easily, so when he looked like he didn't want to tell me something, I knew it was going to be bad. Liam, man, I got to talk to you, he said, pulling me into the hallway away from everyone. Sure, what's up? He hesitated, and that's when I knew whatever he was about to say was going to turn my world upside down. It's about Emma, he said, lowering his voice. My heart started to race. What about her? Noah rubbed the back of his neck, avoiding eye contact. I overheard something earlier tonight. Emma, she's been seeing her ex. My stomach dropped. James? You mean James, the guy she swore she was done with before we started dating? Noah nodded, still not meeting my eyes. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Apparently, it's been going on for a while. She's pregnant, Liam. And it's not yours. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. Pregnant? With James's child? I couldn't process it. The room started spinning, and I felt like I was going to throw up. How could Emma have lied to me like this? What was she planning to do? My thoughts were racing, but one thing became crystal clear. I needed to confront her. I stormed out of the party without another word, ignoring Noah calling after me. I shot Emma a text, asking where she was. She replied almost immediately, saying she was outside. I found her standing near the driveway, her phone in her hand, looking as if nothing had happened. When I asked her if it was true, her face went pale. She stammered, trying to find an excuse, but her silence was all the confirmation I needed. The rage inside me boiled over as I demanded to know how long she had been seeing James. Her response, a few months, was like a knife to my heart. And to make it worse, she admitted that she had planned on letting me believe the baby was mine. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The woman I loved, the woman I thought I was building a future with, had been lying to me for months. I walked away from her that night. There was nothing left to say. My life, the life I thought I had shattered. But that wasn't the end of it. The weekend after Noah's party was the longest of my life. I couldn't stop thinking about Emma's betrayal. I wanted answers, so on Sunday night, I asked her to meet me in my apartment. She showed up looking like a mess, tear-streaked and vulnerable, but I wasn't in the mood for pity. I needed the truth. When she walked in, the tension between us was suffocating. Emma admitted everything. She had been seeing James behind my back for months, and the baby was his. She begged me to forgive her, even going as far as to suggest that we could still be a family. She said James wasn't father material, and that's why she wanted me to raise the child instead. The audacity of it made my blood boil. She wasn't asking for forgiveness. She was asking for a free pass. She wanted me to clean up her mess. I told her it was over, and for the first time I meant it, but Emma didn't give up. Over the next few weeks, she showed up at my apartment, called me nonstop, and even started appearing at my job. It became harassment. One night, she showed up at my door at 10 p.m., begging to talk. When I refused, she broke down, saying she couldn't raise the baby on her own. But that wasn't my problem. She had made her choice, and I was done cleaning up after her. Things escalated when I found out she was telling people I had abandoned her and the baby. She even went as far as to contact my family, trying to turn them against me. But the final blow came when I received a letter in the mail. Emma was suing me for child support. Despite knowing the baby wasn't mine, she was trying to rope me into her mess legally. I hired a lawyer and fought back. We went to court, and the DNA test proved what I already knew. I wasn't the father. Emma's attempt to hold me responsible was rejected, and for the first time in months, I felt a sense of relief. But even then, she didn't stop. After the hearing, she tried to talk to me outside the courthouse, pleading for another chance. I walked away, finally closing that chapter of my life for good. In the months that followed, I started to rebuild. I went back to school, focusing on finishing my degree and building a future for myself. I surrounded myself with friends who had stood by me through everything, and slowly, I began to heal. Emma was a distant memory now, a part of my past that I had no interest in revisiting. She had tried to manipulate me, trap me in a lie, and ruin my life, but I had broken free. I had learned the hard way that trust is fragile, and once it's broken, there's no going back. As I moved forward, I realized that I wasn't the same person I had been before. I was stronger, more resilient, and determined to never let anyone control my life again. Emma was just a chapter in my story, a chapter that had finally come to an end. And for the first time in a long time, I was ready to write the next one.